Hello and welcome to the 23rd video lecture of Marketing Research, Semester 5, Module number 3. In today's video lecture, we are going to study about measurement and scale. Now, students, suppose if you want to measure anything, how will you measure? Suppose if you are there in a classroom and you want to measure the length of a line, how will you measure it? You probably require a scale for this. So in order to measure that, you need a scale. Similarly, if you are going to purchase some, says, onions, tomatoes in uh, the market, then probably you need a weighing scale. So again, you need a scale to measure it. That is to count it or measure it to be more appropriate. So in order to measure anything, you need a scale, right? So now let us move ahead and see what is there in store for today. So today we are discussing about measurement. Now suppose these are two lines. How will you measure it? As I've discussed already, you need a scale to measure it in order to tell which line is lengthy, that is which line is bigger than the other line. Okay, now this is quite easy. You need just a plain measuring geometric scale or a compass scale with you. Now let us move ahead and see what else can we measure. Now suppose if you want to measure this rice, how will you measure it? You need a weighing scale for this. So maybe 5 kgs, 4.5 kgs, 10 kgs. You need an appropriate balance, that is a weighing scale, to measure how much amount of rice or quantity of rice is there in the sack. Similarly, if you want to measure the amount of water, you need another scale for this. That is, you want to find out the volume of it. So you need to find out how many liters of water is present. Okay, so now let us move ahead again and see this. Measurement of all those things which are quantitative in nature was very easy because you had physical scales attached to it. So either you used a scale, that is a geometric scale, or to measure the length, or you used something like a weighing scale to find out how much amount of rice was there, or you needed some other scale which is used to measure the amount of water, that is fluid, in any object. Okay, so these are measuring cups or kind of thing to measure liquid. Now when it comes to certain qualitative natures which we have to measure in market research, the question comes, where do we find the appropriate scale for this? Is a scale present, a universal scale present for this? So now what are the things, qualitative things, that you need to measure? So if we want to find out these things, the first one might be what I've given an example here: anger. Everyone becomes angry. Sometimes we become less angry, sometimes we become more angry. But can we quantify this? Quantifying this is very difficult. Why? Because anger is an abstract thing. We cannot directly describe how much anger we are, or I cannot tell you I am this much angry on you. I am very angry, I am less angry. So this kind of what division we can do at the maximum. So similarly, other things which I have specified in this slide, like love and affection, stress, you said, I say many times, when you have overworked or you have lot of work at a time, multiple works at a time, and with limited time, you say, I'm very stressed today. So if you are very stressed, how much stressed you are? Can you quantify it? Similarly, sadness or unhappy. So these all things are moods or behavioral or attitudes of people, which measuring directly with physical scale is not possible because physical scales are not present for measuring this. So in order to measure this, we need to develop a scale of its own, and that is what we are going to study in this part. So what is measurement? Measurement simply means assigning numbers or other symbols to characteristics of objects. according to certain pre-specified rules. Some of these rules we are going to discuss here. So what is measurement? Measurement is basically we are assigning certain numbers or maybe certain symbols to certain characteristics of objects. Now in my previous example of anger, how much anger you are or how much stressed you are, you say you are very stressed, you are less stressed. So these were two things that you were associating, two symbols. Very stressed was one symbol, less stressed was one symbol, or not stressed, what might be one more symbol. So you are attaching two things to numbers. Very stressed means say 1, well, not stressed means 1, and very stressed means say 10. So how much stressed you are. So now we are getting a scale through which we can measure stress. So similarly, what is measurement? Measurement is basically only assigning of numbers or symbols to characteristics of objects. It is only the process of assignment of numbers. That is, you are assigning numbers. 1 means this, 10 means this. So when you're doing this, that is nothing but measurement. So what are the rules that we have to follow when we are measuring? The first one says that one-to-one correspondence between the numbers and the characteristics being measured should be there. So one-to-one correspondence, that means 1 means not stressed, 10 means very much stressed. So this should be there. So one number says 2 means little more stressed, 3 means little more than a previous stress number, then 4 means again little more, 5 means little more, 6 means again little more, 7 means again little more. So this way it goes on increasing. So one-to-one correspondence is there between the numbers and the characteristics being measured. The next rule says that the rules for assigning numbers should be standardized and uniformly applied. Now what do we mean by standardization? Standardization means now questionnaire you are not going to give to only one person. There are many respondents who are going to get your questionnaire. So when you are giving this scale or this kind of measurement things, that is 1 means not stressed and 10 means very stressed. So this kind of thing should be common in all the questionnaire. You cannot change this. So for one person you are saying 1 is not stressed and 10 is very much stressed, and for the other person you are saying 10 is not stressed and 1 is very much stressed. So this kind of thing is not to be done. It should be standardized. Everyone should get similar kind of thing. Secondly, it should be uniformly applied. As I've already said, it should be uniform everywhere. Now the third rule says that the rules must not change over objects or time. Over objects or time, again similar kind of thing they are saying over objects. Like for example, if you are giving a scale, very good, good, uh, average, not good, very bad, so this kind of thing you are giving, try to give similar kind of things for all the questions. So don't change the rules over objects or over time. Today you are asking certain things and maybe tomorrow you are asking same thing but with different notations. If you are asking, then it becomes difficult for the respondent to understand this. So this is about measurement. The second thing that we are trying to understand is about scaling. So what is scaling? Scaling involves creating a continuum, what I had said, upon which objects are located. See, measurement means only assigning numbers or symbols to the characteristics that are being studied, whereas scaling is creating a continuum upon which measured objects are located. Now, after assigning numbers, we are creating a continuous list, this line. For example, 1 means not stressed, 2 means little more stressed, 3 means little more stressed, 4 means little. So a continuum, that is a continuous line we are getting, where we are writing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and the respondent is supposed to encircle or tick mark or put a X mark where he feels how much stressed he is. So this continuous line is known as a continuum without any break in between. So it is known as a continuum. So scaling involves creating this continuum upon which the objects that we are trying to measure are to be located. In this case, I was trying to measure the amount of stress, and this has to be located on this continuum that we have prepared. Probably you understood this. Measurement is only assignment of numbers or this characteristics. Measurement is assignment of numbers or symbols to characteristics, whereas scaling is preparing the continuum, that is creating a continuum upon which the measured objects or measured characteristics that we are doing are to be located by the respondents. So scaling is the assignment of objects to numbers or semantics. Sometimes I'll get back to you what is semantics. Semantics are symbols according to a rule. In scaling, the objects are text statements. They may be text statements, usually statements of attitude, opinion, or feeling, sometimes also of interests of people. So we are trying to get attitude measurements. Now, what is an attitude? Attitude are precursors to behavior. Now, very important this. We want to study human behavior. What is behavior? Behavior is probably an action that is sometimes repeated over a period of time. Now, I go and purchase Parle-G biscuit from a particular shop. Why do I purchase Parle-G biscuit only? Purchasing of Parle-G biscuit is my behavior, and that can come because of an attitude in me. So there is an attitude that is there in the consumers that has to be studied. Why? Because attitudes determine the behavior, and that is why this kind of scaling is to be done, and this is known as attitude rating scalings. So where qualitative characteristics are located on a continuum. So these things we are discussing in detail ahead in this module. So next, scaling. After you know about measurement and scaling, let us consider one example. So consider an attitude scale from 1 to 10 for a departmental store. So suppose there is a departmental store and we are giving an attitude, creating an attitude rating scale 1 to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are assigning numbers first. So we'll see what is the procedure. 1 to 10 is the scale. Each respondent is assigned a number from 1 to 10, with 1 being extremely unfavorable. Means 1 means I'm not ready to go to that departmental store again. So I have an extremely unfavorable attitude towards that departmental store. And 10 means extremely favorable. I have an extremely favorable attitude towards that departmental store. So what does it mean is I may probably visit that store repeatedly. So what is measurement in this example? Measurement is the actual assignment of number from 1 to 10 for to each respondent. That is, for respondents we are telling 1 means extremely favorable, 10 means 1 means extremely unfavorable, 10 means extremely favorable. It depends upon you what is 1 and what is 10. What are you gonna tell to your respondents? So 1 means extremely unfavorable, 2 means little more favorable, 3 means little more, even more favorable, 4 means even more favorable, 5 means even more favorable, so on, so on, so on, till 10, which is extremely favorable. So this is when you are assigning these numbers. So this numbers is assignment of these numbers is nothing but measurement. Then what is scaling? Scaling is the process of placing the respondents on a continuum. Now you're gonna place this response, or you are gonna ask the respondents to place. Now I prepared this measurement thing. Now you have to tell where exactly you fall. Okay, suppose I go to a departmental store, maybe say Stylish Living. So in style, which is a furniture shop in Belgaum. So there, based upon that my attitude, I am say giving them 6 points, or 6 or 7 I am scaling. So what is happening is, at this 7 what I'm marking here there on the scale, that is I'm being placed on the scale, that is my attitude is being measured on that scale. So this is nothing but scaling. Scaling is the process of placing the respondents on a continuum. So this is a continuum that I have created, 1 to 10, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, with 1 is extremely unfavorable and 10 is extremely favorable. So this continuum that I have prepared, on that I'm gonna place myself. So this is nothing but what scaling. So measurement and scaling, if you want to know, number measurement, if in this numbers are usually assigned for two reasons why this is done. So what are these two reasons why numbers are assigned? Firstly, numbers permit statistical analysis of resulting data. Now, we already know that statistical analysis is possible only if you quantify certain things. If you just say that I do not like a particular this departmental store, analysis of this kind of qualitative data is very difficult. Hence, you have to convert this qualitative data into numerical forms or try to quantify it as much as possible. Once this is quantified, then only you can perform statistical analysis on it. Similarly, secondly, numbers facilitate the communication of measurement rules and results. So it is very easy for us to understand how much they dislike a particular departmental store, or how much they like a particular departmental store. Based upon that, we can do some statistical analysis and we can come up with an conclusion saying how much on an average these many people do not like, or this is the average rating of the departmental store. So this can be done. Also, numbers facilitate communication. We can communicate very easily. Instead of saying dislike, I dislike this departmental store, how much do I dislike? I dislike it by saying 2 number. So in a range of 1 to 10, where 1 is extremely unfavorable, 10 is extremely favorable, I dislike it and I give them 2 points. So this is how measurement and scaling works. I hope you are understanding this. So with this, we end today's video lecture. If there are any doubt with you, please contact us.